So today for Nutrition Month, we're going to attack the first nutrition myths, as we said. So one of the first myths that's really prevalent in the media and internet and magazines and stuff is to lose fat you need to eat more often. Okay, and I must say that clinically I've had people that have done it and it has worked for them. But if we look scientifically, if we look at the research says basically what your good old sense should say, that basically if you eat more often, you'll gain more weight. Okay, to be fair, most of the studies that look at all the studies that have been done will say that either having more meals per day in the very best scenario doesn't change anything. Okay, so it has no benefit. Okay, and it has no disadvantage, but it has no benefit. So you don't really lose weight by eating more often. However, what's been shown more often than not is that if you eat 6 meals a day instead of 3 meals a day, you'll end up gaining weight. Which again makes sense, especially if you tend to eat the same amount that you would eat for 3, but you eat just more because you eat 6. But that's been controlled for. Okay, so some studies have looked and said, well, if you give the same number of calories if you eat 6 meals or 3 meals, do we still see a difference between the two regimens? And so what they've done is, let's say they've said, well, okay, we're going to give 1,500 calories whether you eat 6 meals a day or you eat 3 meals a day. So it's the same number of calories that's been given. It's just being spread out over more meals or less meals per day. And what they found is that you're still gaining weight if you're eating the 6 meals a day instead of 3 meals a day, even if it's the same number of calories. Okay, which shows that the timing is important. Okay, and that brings me to the second myth, which is basically that you should never skip a meal. It's terrible for you to skip meals. Okay, and first of all, I must say that everything that I'm saying today basically deals with adults. Okay, not kids. Kids have a different system. Kids are in growth. Okay, so they're basically grazers. They usually need to eat all day long. So they'll eat smaller quantities, but over a longer period. Okay, so kids are very intuitive. So what they do is that they'll eat a little bit, then use up that energy. Once their energy is down, they'll eat a little bit, and then they'll go on. Which as a parent can be really frustrating, okay? Because you're prepared a nice meal, everybody sits down, and then your kid's not eating because he had a snack about an hour before lunch, okay? But still, they're pretty in tune with their bodies and usually they do the right thing, okay? But as kids, you must remember, I remember all the Christmas parties, even if I was served like a big plate, maybe sometimes I would end up eating the big plate, but I would never eat it in one sitting, which means that the plate was there on the table, kind of nibble, eat a little bit, then we'd go under the table and play with all the cousins, and then we'd kind of come back up, eat a little bit, and go and play, and eat a little bit, and go and play. And, in the good ways, sometimes the plate would be done, but more often than not, wouldn't really finish the plate, but that's okay. Okay? So kids will just go for that energy. You as adults are not in growth anymore. Okay? You're not growing. You're not getting taller. If anything, you're growing this way, which is not really positive. Okay? So we don't need to apply the same principles to an adult as we do for a kid. And so as I said, if we skip meal, is it really such a bad thing? Well, first of all, you must think about the terms themselves. Because if you think about the first meal of the day, which is called breakfast, okay, it breaks the fast, which entails that there has been a fast to break in the first place, okay? And so this means that you need to have sufficient hours in a day where you're actually not feeding your body. And what happens then is your body goes into its reserves, okay? That's when it starts to burn the fat. It starts to burn all the extra sugar that you've stored, okay? So it takes all that energy that you've stored for that purpose, for whenever there's no food available. And that really helps your body to regulate itself. Same thing for your glycemia, okay? If you never challenge that system, if you never challenge your sugar levels, then it will become a little bit more complacent. What you don't use in your body, you tend to lose, or it becomes really less performant, okay? So if you never challenge that system, it just doesn't work as well in time. Okay, so if there are periods during the day where suddenly you're just not eating as much as you should, or you're not eating at all for extended periods, then your body will need to go into these age-old processes that it's used to dealing with to get you to have the energy that you need. Okay, And so really, if you skip meals, especially if it's a conscious choice, if it's really planned out and you're not compensating for it at the next meal, okay, then no, it's not always a bad idea to skip meals. Okay, so I hope it helps. Don't hesitate to ask questions, place comments in the thread. It's our pleasure to answer them. And we'll see you next time for the next Food Myths. Bye.